You're listening to The Front Stretch on AM 590, Omaha's ESPN Radio. Brought to you by Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs. Online at joeskarting.com.
This is Turn 3, presented by Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs. 23rd Avenue next to AMC Theaters and online at joeskarting.com. That's karting with a K. Get to Joe's today. Get yourself some fast-paced white-knuckle racing, as I have done so many times. I just actually renewed my membership there, so I'm glad you guys let me do that.
white-knuckled at Joe's? Wow.
Yeah, those are some sharp turns. I got scared.
Andrew, how'd the girlfriend treat you on the track? Did she beat you?
You know what? The first time we went there, she just was embarrassing. This time, she was so good. Hey, you know what? I'm going to tell you something real quick. The number 11 cart needs fixed, because that's what I got on first.
Don't hit the wall.
No. I told everybody, I go, this thing is just so slow, and I got like the slowest time, and I got a guy that's like 240 pounds was faster than me. And everybody's like, you just are terrible at driving. I put another buddy in the car that did the same thing, and the guy's like, yeah, there must be something wrong with it. But she did really well, and I mean, yeah, girls are good at it. I think everybody can go out there and run good. They're fast enough to be fun, but they're not fast enough to scare somebody. So
no,
and one
perfect.
One thing that I've really enjoyed about the karts there is that they're all relatively the same speed. I want to say that they're relatively matched, but one of them has a little bit different braking. One of them's got a little bit different turning, and so for us NASCAR fans, and this is the closest I can ever get to actually racing a dirt track, unless you actually let me hot lap your car one night, which I think
no.
It forces you to kind of change up your driving style.
Well, yeah, I mean, you go out there on any given NASCAR race, and you got 43 cars out there. Relatively speaking, they're all the same, really.
And yet you've got one guy who's able to knock down laps that are 3-4 seconds faster than somebody who's running the back of the pack, and it's simply driving style and setup.
Well, imagine if you, Andrew, and I all had a cup car, and you had, all three of our cars are suited for our driving preferences. I could get into your car and not be able to get out of my own way, but Andrew could get in your car and go win the race with
it. It's all about driving styles.
Yeah, it comes right down to driving styles, and everybody's like, well, these cars aren't all the same. Yes, they are. The same motors, same everything. We took the governors off. They haul the mail around there. It just comes down. You want to be a race car driver? Here's your shot. Prove it. Yeah. Show us what you got.
Yeah. And I had a lot of fun. I went down with my cousin last week, and we raced about 4 or 5 different races, and I got into several different cars. And proud to say I beat him every time. But I got into different cars each time, and about 5 or 6 laps. I was horrible, and it just it took a little bit to kind of get used to.
Once you get your timing and your rhythm down.
Yeah. So it's a lot of fun. Get down to Joe's and get yourself some fast-paced white-knuckle racing in today. I guarantee you're going to have fun. I've had a lot of people who have sat there and said, oh, you know what, Dan, I can't pay $14 for a race, or what is it, $13.25 or something like that. And I said, listen, suck it up and do it once, and you will be hooked.
Racing at Joe's is like eating Pringles. You can't eat just one chip.
You really can't. And I buy races 10 at a time, because I believe you get a little bit of a discount when you do that. So it ends up being I think $11 a race or something like that. So,
something like that.
So, but the fact of the matter is, I have absolutely no problem paying $13.50, for, it's about 10 minutes of racing, 8-10 minutes of racing, but God, is it a ball of fun. I mean, you're hauling around there. You're having so much fun. It flies by, but by the time you're done, your arms are sore, because it's not just turning left and putzing around as the governor kicks in. It's a lot of fun. So,
and there's nothing else here in town that's going to compare.
Not even close. No. And even in this area, I've gone to places on vacation with my family, and they're like, let's go to the go-kart track. And I'm like, you know what? That's not any fun.
Did you say goat track?
The go-kart track.
Oh, I thought he said goat track.
It's not even, well, we go to the goat track too. It's fun to go down there and race goats, but no, it's when you get those governors that kick in at some of the other places, because they're so paranoid that somebody's going to break a nail and sue them, that you get going 5 miles an hour and the governor kicks in.
We actually went, I'm not going to name the name of the place, but we went to an indoor kart racing facility. Nice layout, big place. It's funny. My boss and then my weekend manager and I, we all go out together. Very first corner, we hit the brakes to set the car in the corner, and all of a sudden the motor just went, that's it. It was like a rev limiter. The carts literally sounded like Jesse sobbing out at I-80 Speedway, just pop, 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 pop. And then you'd get back in the throttle and they take off. You'd go into the corner, pop, 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 pop. We're like, what in the world is this? And it wasn't fun. And,
No.
you know, we don't do that. We just open them up and say, here you go, have at it. We'll run 10 at a time.
Yeah. My favorite impression of all the go-kart places around is when you hit the gas and you go, wee and that is your acceleration. Man, they haul right up to 5 miles an hour, and then that's it.
Ryan Butler, my weekend manager, and I, we went to Lincoln to a track, and then the lady there worked the counter like, so how fast these things go? And she was literally bragging. She goes, oh man, we just got done turning these things up. They go 17 mile an hour now. I'm like, 17 mile an hour?
So the point is, get to Joe's today, get yourself some fast-paced white-knuckle racing in joeskarting.com. That's karting with a K. You can also track him down. Google him, 23rd Avenue in Council Bluffs. Take I-80 to South 24th Street exit, head north, and you're going to wind around behind the casino. It's a Horseshoe Casino back there,
right next to the movie theater.
Center, and it's right across the street from the AMC 17s and the IMAX theater. So get to Joe's today, get yourself some racing. And Andrew, we're going to talk obviously in Tier 3. We've got a big series coming up that you're going to be racing in the next couple of days.
That is correct. I might go else for the first races, but this week the SLMR is making their biggest swing. This is kind of like the affordable touring late model series. This week at I-80 they had the MLRA come in, and like later in the year Eagle has a big show, and everybody usually has a big show. Corning just had one last night. The super late model series is kind of like a spec motor IMCA, or like you could run a super motor, but this week they're going on a 5-day in a row swing, starting with Wagner, South Dakota, Columbus, Nebraska, I-80 Speedway, Junction Motor Speedway, and then ending up with Lexington, Nebraska on Sunday. It should be a really, really good weekend, really fun. I hope nobody tears anything up. If everybody comes out to all 5 races, they're giving away a free tire. I mean, they're trying to do everything as affordable as you can, and I mean, it's a pretty good payout for how short the distance is for the guys that race this series. It is really good.
And what day are they going to be at I-80?
Friday. Just
night?
like a regular Friday, yep.
Okay, so it'll be a Friday night.
Now, is this
series?
going to be a regular weekly point show plus the SLMR series?
Yes, the way they do it out there is when the SLMR comes to town, you get points for both regular points and for SLMR. It's kind of different, but if you think about it, all the guys that run Friday usually run SLMR.
Yeah, so you might as well just make it a regular track points night.
Yeah.
So explain to me the difference between SLMR and LMR. Obviously, super late model and late model. Is it an engine size difference?
What do you mean by LMR?
I was gonna say, what do you mean by LMR?
I thought I heard you say earlier LMR.
MLRA.
Oh, okay.
There is. I mean, those guys in the MLRA are $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 all aluminum 430s, and the SLMR series is like these. I run an 11-to-1, and I mean that's a $10,000 motor.
You better,
and you can keep up.
You know what I mean by, or what he means by 11-to-1?
Not at all.
Okay, I didn't think so. 11-to-1 compression. Your little Ford Ranger's got what, 5-to-1 compression? Something like that.
I got 6 spark plugs. That's all I know.
Yeah.
And an air conditioner that's been worked very heavily this week.
That sounds about like an average announcer right there.
Oh, yeah.
I just got 6 spark plugs and an air conditioner. Good Lord.
Well, I didn't mispronounce anybody's name, so I was pretty happy with that statement.
You gotta dummy it down for Dan here, Andrew.
I really do.
He doesn't know what 11-to-1 and a 430 and.
He looked at me like, oh yeah, yep.
Listen, I've made a career out of looking like I know what I'm talking about. That's
You
what
did
happens.
a very good job, right?
Yeah.
When you're a salesperson. Oh yeah, I know all about that.
I'm here to bring him back down to reality.
So that's going to happen Friday night. What times does everything start at I-80?
I-80 starts at their average 7 o'clock. I think high laps are at 6:45, racing right after that. Sometimes they're a little earlier, a little later, but I mean it's usually about 7 o'clock when everything gets rolling.
Okay.
I tell you what, we have the SLMR series coming up. Eagle Raceway's got their bike night coming up. I think Shelby County, it's either either Modified King of the Hill. But within the next 30 days, I think they've got like the Dwight Rich Memorial coming up. The one thing I want to give a shout out, I-80 Speedway, man, track prep out of this world. Textbook, couldn't gotten any better Friday night.
Were you there Friday?
No, but I heard about it. Man, I had all kinds of people. A lot of the tracks around here have had rough track conditions. And Andrew, you know as well as I do, all of us drivers talk about track conditions. And man, Friday night, I-80's almost really, really good every week. You don't have much of a problem with ruts, rough track, whatnot. It's usually dry slick. That's I-80 Speedway. But, man, from what I heard from all the drivers, I mean, that really deserved a shout out was their track prep Friday night.
Well, I mean, I think right now is what they're prepping up to do is we have a guy that comes in and does it a lot, and it's not his full-time job at all. We do have a guy that has a full-time job there. He comes out there and usually does the big shows. And right now he's going to be gone for the Silver Dollar. And last year, if you remember the Silver Dollar, they went 3 wide the whole time,
yeah.
and it was a great track. So I think what they're doing is they're prepping up for the track. I mean, they do their best every single week. If there's a hole, they fill it, patch it, do whatever they got to do to get it so that they can be ready for this. Because when Silver Dollar comes around, those guys don't want to be running on nothing rough. They want the best track. Always.
Oh, yeah.
And, this is a good opportunity for us to kind of segue into it a little bit. We don't have much time in turn 3 to talk about this because we only got 9 minutes left in the show. But each and every week, you guys can listen to us try to talk more dirt. I mean, we've only got so much of the show we're able to talk about. And unfortunately, we would love to sit here and give you guys weekly points breakdowns so you can keep up to date with how each and every track is going on. But majority of the time, our show is pre-recorded on Wednesday nights. By the time it would air on Sunday morning,
it's irrelevant news.
It's irrelevant. So instead, we created, and I think I got a good name for it. You guys will vote on the air right now. It's Slinging Dirt. Slinging Dirt segment.
That ain't bad at all, yeah.
It's an all-dirt track talk segment. I paused at the wrong point there. All dirt track talk segment. We'll talk points breakdowns, how each driver's doing. You can get it on our Facebook page. Another reason why to head over to our Facebook page, become a fan. We're going to post it thanks to Lost Dogs Designs. They're going to post it every Thursday morning, and we're going to, so Wednesday night we'll record it, and we'll do points breakdowns. We're going to pick 3 tracks each and every week. And this week, we did it. It was Crawford, Eagle, and I-80, right?
Yep, I believe we were talking this last week. We're going to do Western Iowa swing one week, and then we'll do the Eastern Nebraska swing the following week. But then here's what I like about our new little segment is, we only have an hour on the show here. There, we don't have a time limit.
Right.
So it's raw. It's unedited.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know what's going to come out of Andrew's mouth. So.
Fine. Rachel, if you're listening, I'm going to warn you.
Oh, man, I tell you what, once we get that posted, Bud may be getting an engagement ring thrown back at him. So make sure to check out for that. This has been Turn 3, presented by Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs, and this has been the Front Stretch. Turn 4 is just around the corner. This is the Front Stretch on AM 590, Omaha's ESPN Radio.